guys, and welcome back to the vlog. Actually do the update vlog that I promised in the motorcycle vlog just before this. Just a little bit about me. Hi, I'm Tamara. I just had a birthday. I am 32, live in London. I was a teacher for 9 years. Then I took well, it's not actually a 2 year break, I just took a little bit of a break. And then I went into HR as a HR apprentice. Took a severe pay cut, and I did that for 1 year and 5 months, and now I am unemployed again. This is all by choice, by the way. So if you want to find out about my teacher stuff, I would suggest you go back and look at the vlogs, because I explain everything about being sick, why I chose to leave education fully, and then how I ended up in the city. So yeah, I ended up in the city. I worked for an accountancy firm for 1 year and 5 months as a HR apprentice / advisor. I've just finished my CIPD qualification, which is a HR qualification that is noticed actually all over the world, which is fantastic. I just need to get my last unit marks. And yeah, so the reason why I left was I felt it was time to go again. Now, I liked working in HR, and I do think I would go back to it. Actually, that's a good point. So in my mindset is I have got 2 careers, and I set myself up in this way because I want to have options after I have a child and options for myself as I get older. I can go back into education, or I can be a HR advisor. Now, it's really good to be have these options, because obviously I like the idea of working from home, which you can't do as a teacher, but you can do in HR. So that was one of the big reasons why. Also, I wanted to live my city girl life. I wore the nice clothes, I went out for lunches, I went and did really cool, our Christmas party was on the London Eye, all of those sorts of things, and I did what I wanted to do. And I felt it was time for me to go. Now, I wasn't sure if I aligned again with everything to do with how HR is run and things like that. It is sometimes can be quite challenging and emotionally challenging as well. Not as much as teaching, but you wouldn't think, it is quite emotionally challenging working in HR. Some of the things that you are brought to you can be quite jarring and quite tricky to resolve. And that was a big comparative difference. Within education, you've kind of got strict boundaries, and equally you're working with children, you're protecting as such. But when an adult approaches you with something quite serious, we have policies and things like that, but a lot of it does come down to judgment. Equally, I'm going to be honest, children are easier to manage than adults. 100%. Give me a class of 30 children versus adults any day. Adults do stupid things. I was met with some really interesting parts of my career. It's like, you look at someone, he's like, are you an adult? Type vibe, what were you thinking? So it was quite an interesting time. I actually quite enjoyed the parts of it that were a bit more fun, as in I enjoyed doing such as meeting the new onboardees. So I did onboarding, I did payroll. That is not for me. I do not like money, don't like dealing with it. That will never be the part of HR I will ever get involved in again, which was really good to know. And I told the senior manager that HR, that part of it will never be me. I enjoyed looking at the learning and development side, which is obviously a good place for me because it's an interest, but I chose the HR apprentice role because it's a generalistic role to get a real good feel for what actually HR is, not just to segment myself into one area. And I was very lucky. I had a senior manager who was very good at that, and she exposed me as well to lots of areas of the business, which I was really appreciative of. But yeah, so as time went on, things got a bit more I wasn't sure what to do. Was this something I wanted to be in for the rest of my life at the moment? And I started to feel that kind of niggling thought in my chest, oh, is this it? Is this the final career I've chosen for me? Is what am I going to be for the next 40 years or however long years until I retire? And it dawned on me, no. So I did not want to waste this time. I did not want to, because I did go into this with a purpose, so this is why I completed my qualification in it. I started to feel do I like it? Now, I did like it, and I actually, in hindsight now, I did like it. But I do feel like I made the right choice to leave when I did. The only reason I say that is because if I start to dislike something, like in teaching, I started disliking it quite a while before I decided to leave. And by the time I decided to leave teaching, I almost had a hate for it. And I promised myself I did not want to ever get into that situation again. I started feeling that, you know what, I'm starting to dislike it. I don't hate it. I need to take a step back. And that's what I've done. And I've taken a step back and I've left to kind of reconcile my thoughts, to see where I'm going in life. And it kind of worked out, I think, pretty well. Currently, I am unemployed, which is okay. If you were here at the beginning of all my YouTube, yeah, it's okay to be unemployed. I saved my money. I'm very lucky that I have a very supportive partner as well, and we're getting married in September, which is exciting. But I kind of just left it because I didn't want to get to a stage where I dislike something so much and I'm burnt out. So after I decided to leave, my resignation period is only a month. A lot of people tried to keep me to stay. They tried to give me another job opportunities, which was really sweet, and I've really appreciated that. But I chose to leave. I never burnt my bridges, as I've never done, and I've always said these in these vlogs, never burn your bridges. Always, even if you worked in a place that was absolute horror, you never know how life works out, and you never know when you meet people again. And I definitely chose not to, so much so that they said when I'm ready, if I want to come back, I can come back and work for them, which I really appreciated. So that was me, and this is where I am now. I am on the precipice of starting my own business. So I feel like I've got a lot going on, and there is a lot going on. But like, I genuinely believe that I can do this. I want to have as many kind of avenues within myself, which is the best option. I'm a naturally creative person. I am going to start my own business selling my art. I do prints off Procreate. I make stickers, and I want to start establishing this into a business. Because you know what? It's got to a point also when I was thinking to myself, you either work for someone else or you work for yourself. You work towards someone else's dream, and I can't remember who said that. I think it was I was listening to a podcast, and you're working to someone else's dream. If you can, why not work to your own? And I generally really believe that. And again, I would not be able to have done so without the support of my partner. He agrees. He's hoping, what's my phone? He's hoping that I will be able to create a business that he doesn't have to work, which would be actually the best kind of thing ever, because I really appreciate everything he does for me, and I want to kind of almost pay that back. And again, it's relationships, everyone's relationship's different, but it's kind of that thing, that'd be pretty cool. And he was like, oh, even I'll work for you, and I would prefer to work for you because you're working is for our family. And I thought, you know what, why not? Take a risk. So yeah, I'm in kind of that stage. I'm petrified about starting my own business, but I've been watching lots of vlogs like Anika Leaf and watching a woman called Uncomfy who kind of do it themselves, and they're creators. And I really kind of wanted to do that. So this is kind of the thing that I thought, this is the time to try and do it. Equally, I am keeping myself busy. I am planning our wedding quite shortly. We haven't given it much time, but we're doing that. I am just trying to keep my mental health on track. It hasn't been great, but I am doing a lot of work. I may be starting a new avenue of therapy. So it's going to be quite a transformative time for myself. But I just wanted to give you guys a bit of background. Nothing bad happened. It's just, it was time for me to go once again, but I kind of recognised it a lot faster than I did before. 7 years in the full-time teaching job, and I left it and I was broken. 2 years as a supply teacher, which was nice and kind of gave me that, and then I went into HR. So yeah, I hope, excuse me, I almost just choked on air. I hope this all makes sense, and I really appreciate if you got to the end of this vlog. If you have got to the end of this vlog, please comment an emoji that is your little, like, what you do. So that you can see some emojis, like if you're a builder, or if you're a teacher, or if you are a dancer. If you do get to the end of this, please put a little comment with your little emoji. And if you're unemployed at the moment, just comment that little emoji, because that's me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'm back. I am struggling to find what to film recently and trying to get the motivation, but I will get there. I think I'm just trying to not overload myself. But actually, yeah, we will talk soon. I've just had to think of something and then I'm like, well, I can't say that yet. But I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.